Hey, I'm Tara McNamara.
And I'm Dr. Ramani Durvasula.
And we are here to explain the behavior of Donald Trump. Yes, we are explaining Trump because we're all confused. We're all baffled by our president's behavior. It doesn't seem to make sense with how we expect people to behave, but there's a good reason for that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that at the end of the day, Trump's behavior is actually so consistent. It's consistent. And so while everyone feels baffled, there's actually nothing baffling about it. It really follows a pattern. I just think it's a pattern nobody wants to believe is true. And that's why everyone is so confused. So I think, Tara, I feel like my work with you here is really to help people see how consistent these patterns are, to understand where they come from. And that way, they may not like the patterns, but at least they know what's coming. It's almost like wintertime. You may not like the idea that another snowstorm is coming, but at least you know it's coming.
Right. And Dr. Ramani, you are the author of Should I Stay or Should I Go? The Surviving a Relationship with a Narcissist. And so you literally wrote the book on how to survive this experience with a narcissist, and that's what we're in now.
Yeah, I mean, America just entered a relationship with a narcissist.
We married a narcissist.
We married a narcissist. And in fact, he seduced us, so we got engaged, and I would call that's what happened at the convention. We got engaged, and on Inauguration Day, we tied the knot, and within days after Inauguration Day, and more than a few people said, what have we done? It was a very short honeymoon, and I think that many of the things I've worked from working with individual relationships with narcissists, I'm seeing these things happen to America. But what I do know in doing this work is once I educate the person in the narcissistic relationship, basically the non-narcissist, of exactly what's going on and what to expect, they look at me thinking I'm a genie, and I'm saying there's nothing magical about this. This is a pattern. And then the other person in that relationship, sort of the survivor, if you will, starts feeling like, okay, now that I know the pattern, I know what to do. What I hope to do for America is say there is a pattern here. Like I said, you may not like it, but at least if you understand it, it won't seem so strange. And to folks who work on the Hill and the people who are his advisors who are scratching their heads, if they ever get to see this, I hope this helps them understand some better ways to work with this and to stop waiting for a miracle that's never going to happen.
And just so you know who we are, so Dr. Ramani obviously has, as a noted psychologist with a lot of experience and an expert in this field, and I have worked in talk radio in Miami and in Washington, D.C., covering politics in the past. And so for me, I've always been interested in the people's point of view and explaining things to the people or having them be a part of the process. So we are bringing you in to Donald Trump's mind to help you understand whatever your belief system is, whether you're a Republican or a Democrat, whether you're a concerned citizen, whether you are Paul Ryan, we are here to help you understand our president and how he thinks, because really, and I really want to make this clear, this isn't about us being nasty about the president or saying he has a mental illness. That's not what we're saying. People's brains are wired differently.
In many ways, Donald Trump is sort of that clean clinical specimen of narcissism and privilege. And I think for me, as somebody who's sort of watching this with kind of the scientific precision of a psychologist who studies this disorder, he's just such a good example of it. And as a result, we can really predict what his next move is going to be. And so what feels now like a random chess game is literally like playing chess with a computer you already programmed. So you can predict it. Here's what's going to be frustrating for the American people at times is that you can predict it, but that doesn't always mean you feel like you can change it. He's still going to do these things. And so whether it's something silly like these, wiretapping allegations or just acting defensively even to the most vulnerable people who are complaining about his behavior, all of those things make sense. They're exactly what we'd expect. And just like if you were in a relationship with a hypersensitive narcissist and you figured out, wow, even when I comment on his tie, he gets really mad at me, you know what you'd end up doing? You'd stop commenting on his tie. And so it also addresses how Americans engage in discourse because they just may feel more and more helpless. And when people turn helpless, not very good things happen. So that's one thing I hope to do is maybe figure out ways we can tell folks to access a governmental system that the last time I checked, much as it feels different, it still does operate on checks and balances. And our representatives still answer to us. And so it is to empower people to actually get back out there and be active. Listen, in the last LA election, only 11% voted. That was a few weeks ago. We're still a very disengaged country. This is a chance for people to be reminded exactly at the time you feel helpless, maybe this is the time to get engaged. With numbers, you may be able to move mountains.